Good Sunday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We've got another Watchmen update for you. Some news items we'll cover and a bunch of your reports as well. So, an update on the Iran strike on the U.S. military base. It's a doozy. And friends, this is why I have trust issues. But we're told not to worry about the client list, so we can trust them on that though. We got a big tariff announcement we need to talk about, and things are falling apart in Eastern Europe. So, yeah, bad news abroad. Let's just put it generally like that. We got Watchmen reports on beef suddenly disappearing. Did I warn something about that? Maybe. And it's not just beef either. Chicken and pork disappearing too. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We also want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They are offering a free book. It's called Gold and the Bible, and it walks you through what the Bible teaches about gold and also talks to you about what's happening in current events and how gold is going to be gaining a lot of value, and it's going to help you retain your value. If you like that free book, and if you want to get some more information about what you can do with your retirement account, there's going to be a link at the end of the video. That'll take you straight to where you can get the free book from, and they'll also reach out to you as well. Moving on here, for the first time since 2017, this is actually kind of good news. Since 2017, first time that the federal government has posted a surplus here in June. So June is an up month, so it's not terribly surprising. June is when quarterly taxes get paid, and a lot of corporations kind of end their quarter around then too. So we see a bunch of companies paying money in, but you know, it's still actually a month where the federal government actually has more cash at the end of the month than it did at the beginning of the month, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? It's how all of us should operate, but we're not used to the government operating that way. There'll definitely be a deficit in July. The Iranian attack on the U.S. military base back in June on Qatar, well, independently, there's been increasing rumors and satellite photos by independent sources that the Iranians did not completely miss the base. They actually hit the base with at least one missile. Satellite photos show a radar dome that was destroyed. Well, the Pentagon finally admitted yesterday that actually maybe one missile got through. Oopsie. Or more accurately, and this is why this is a problem, President Trump said some statements on June 23rd that are factually incorrect. Here's what he said. There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and one was set free because it was headed into a non-threatening direction. I am pleased to report that no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done. This radar dome is literally feet from other buildings. It looks like on the satellite photos that it's actually touching another base building. Now, to call that heading in a non-threatening direction is disingenuous at best. It was absolutely headed straight to the middle of the base, and if you can tell me that these guys knew what building it was going to hit, I'm going to call you a liar. Just like I'm going to have to say here that what he said was factually incorrect. Either somebody lied to him, or he didn't present the right truth to us. Now, this same President Trump, now it's not saying I don't support him. Just because you like somebody, just because you support what they're doing generally doesn't mean that you shouldn't call them out when they misbehave. And in this case, he said something not true to the American people. And it was kind of an important thing. President Trump now doubling down, calling the client list a Democrat scam, saying that it was created by Obama. and saying nobody cares about it. So we're just stacking up incorrect statements after incorrect statements here. A lot of people care about that. He said not to waste any energy on it and to leave Pam Bondi alone. I don't know how he thinks that this is going to go away, because just about everybody's upset on this one. There's the people that are just upset with him always. They're upset now too, just because it's about him. They're suddenly caring about it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. All right, moving on. Air India. They had an Air India crash over in India. The crash report is out, and apparently on the black box, the pilots briefly discussed right after takeoff the engine fuel switch being shut off. Now, they couldn't have taken off with it off, but apparently it got switched off, and the fuel to the engines got cut off, or to one of the engines got cut off, right as they were taking off. Now, one theory is that one of the pilots accidentally turned it off because the other pilot says, "Why did you turn off the fuel?" It's possible that it was intentionally done. That is a distinct possibility. So we don't know all of the facts and ins and outs. They're still classifying it as an accident. So maybe they have some further information that I don't. But looks like pilot error, or whether intentional or not intentional. It just goes to show how much our fate is truly in the hands of pilots. Making the right decisions at the right moments, and not deciding to take everyone with them. All right, President Trump intensifies the trade war. We knew more letters were coming out, and some big ones just came out. Already reported on the one that went to Canada. Now we got 30% tariffs going to be slapped on Mexico effective August 1st, and the European Union. Now, of all the countries out there that are most likely to hit back at the United States, Canada's one. The European Union is not really a country, but they're a joint economic partnership. They're likely to hit back, or at least somebody inside the European Union is going to hit back on that. So we're going to see what kind of food fight happens here on that, but it will almost certainly impact your imports. If you need stuff from the stores that come from any of these countries, namely any of the countries other than the United States, well, then you might want to go pick some stuff up if you're in the U.S. All right, out of Eastern Europe, the Bear Country continues to launch an unprecedented attack, an air attack on that country in Eastern Europe. Bear Country launching over 600 drones and missiles overnight. This is according to the Eastern European country. So they don't really want to, pump up the numbers. So at least that many were launched, apparently. Now, we don't know how many of them were decoys. Apparently, every time they launch one of these new Shahad drones, they're launching a decoy as well. But whatever is happening, we are seeing that country in Eastern Europe is getting pummeled, okay? They're not able to take out all these things that are coming in, and they don't have the air defense systems to do that. And it's getting to be, let's just say the front line is moving more and more each day. They were just celebrating taking out a Bear Country tank that has a new cage over it. They've upgraded the cages that they're putting on the tanks. Also, notably, they took out this tank that has the new cage on it, but it took 60 drones, 60 drones to attack and disable this tank, because it had a mine sweeping apparatus on the front, flail, and it was cutting its way through a minefield, and they needed to take it out. But it took 60 drones to take this thing out. Just a regular tank with a cope cage on top of it, like a more professionally designed cope cage. Well, that is disconcerting, at least. And it's also been reported recently that Bear Country is producing more tanks each month than they are losing each month. They're actually replenishing their tank stocks. So those of you who are like, they're going to run out of equipment any day now. Well, they've been ramping up production so much so that they're actually building more than they're losing. So it's not going to go our way out there. Let's just say it that way. And that side refuses to negotiate on any kind of reasonable basis. And Bear Country is now starting to show that it's not as willing to negotiate either now because they're winning. All right. Bright Star says, speaking about Keystone meats, I ordered the small cans from Walmart. 2 of the 2 orders were bulging at the bottom. I got replacements today. Both were dented. I plan to call again and complain. They need to pack smart, not foolish. I've seen that they package the big cans a lot smarter now because the big cans are really susceptible to denting, but they seem not to take much care about the small cans. That's my experience about it. Let me know what you guys think. Rebecca says Buy Mart or BL Mart, not really sure. In Aberdeen, Washington, freezer cases 7/8 empty. That's mostly empty. Just a few gallons of milk and sundry items on 2 shelves at the far end. I assumed it was a refrigeration issue, but then I saw signs saying it was due to supply chain issues. Haven't heard of that extreme supply chain issues in the last week, but if anyone else is seeing anything like that, especially out in Washington State, let us know. If your cold section is completely wiped out almost, let us know. Because maybe there's another distribution channel that's gotten messed up. Bonnie says, here in Frankfort, Kentucky, at Kroger today, 90% of all beef was gone. And the manager's special bags of produce went from 99 cents up to $1.50. So a lot less of a deal there, and beef just gone. Umbra Shadow Gaming says, I haven't seen Keystone beef at Walmart by us for 2 years. We are in Buckeye, Arizona. You should still be able to order it online, I believe. So check that out and see if you can. You may not be able to, but I think you can. So if you need to get it. But lots of dented cans, right? Learning Functioning says, here in upstate New York, my husband and I shop at a Mennonite store that's near us. We heard the owner of the store giving a warning to a customer to stock up on your beef now, because if you don't do it now, you're not going to be able to get it soon. And it wasn't just on beef, it was on meat in general. So there's a warning there coming from a store, at a Mennonite store. Shady Trees says, Sacramento, California, whole chicken is looking spotty. Few were found at Safeway, under 10 of them left, and at Bel Air, there were only 5 available. The heaviest was 4.8 pounds and the lightest 2.8 pounds. That's almost a chick. I don't know why you'd cook a chick, but that's what's going on there. When I got home, I weighed the one bird I bought, and it was 4.3 pounds. The rest was water in the pad. So almost half a pound of water. The other birds there also had water-absorbing pads in them as well. Teeny says, I heard about other people's finding chicken breasts bloated with extra water, but I hadn't personally seen it until now. I got a pack from the Lafayette, Indiana Aldi, and the pad underneath was seriously bloated with water. I paid for over 5 pounds of chicken, but was left with only 4 pounds of chicken, actual chicken meat, after I cleaned it up. The Wild Living Nature says, I live in Southwest Florida. It's been months and the onions have been soft and discolored inside, more bad than good. Something is just not right with the most of the lemons either lately. They barely have any juice in them and also appear milky inside like the onions. All right, Lori says, I went to Aldi in Somerset, Pennsylvania last evening. No black tea bags. 100 count size. They even removed the tag. They're just not going to sell black tea anymore, apparently. They did have cottage cheese, but it seems like every section is smaller in the store except the specialty aisle of non-food items. Tanjab says, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, which is Pittsburgh. Our neighbor has a daughter that works for the nearby local police department. She informed her dad that there is suspicious activity going on in our churches with suspects checking out the surrounding churches and asking questions. This time it's not just Jewish temples. Faith over fear. I will keep going about my business as usual, just like I did during the cough cough. Death has lost its grip on me. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, heads up to you guys to keep on alert, especially around the churches or if you go to synagogue or you go to anything else there. Check out, keep your heads up. BLC says, East Central Illinois. We are not allowed to use water today due to an algae bloom. Lines at Walmart for everyone buying out the water. My work was canceled today until 11 a.m. due to the water issue. This got bad real fast. Everything on social media is conflicting as to whether we can do dishes and laundry or showers. Here is a clarification from somebody tied into the emergency management folks there. Old as dirt, small town, East Central Illinois. Yesterday morning, the ambulances, police, firefighters, and city employees all out touring the hydrants in the town. So they're out there testing the water. An hour later, we have a city and health department warning, do not use the water. No drinking, no cooking, no boiling, no baths, no dishwashing, no washing your hair. Do not give it to animals. Do not touch the water. Do not try to add disinfectants. Do not add bleach or chemicals. Do not let stand for 24 hours to purify. So remember, purification works if it's bacteria or viruses. But if it's chemicals in the water, that's not going to work. And remember, as in this case, this is actually a plant that's actually putting toxins in the water. They said that there is an algae that releases a neurological toxin that has gotten into the system. There are extra shipments coming in today of bottled water to stores and businesses. Some are giving it away for free. My point is, have stores of water saved up. Do I believe that this is happening overnight? That's another question there. They're testing it now and saying, okay, it's unsafe to drink or even touch. What about 30 minutes ago? No. Plenty of people have been using the water before the sudden flushing of the water lines. You can't tell me it went from 0.03 parts per million to 0.35 parts per million of general toxins in 24 hours. I think they are just making up those numbers in order to kind of make the point. Is something else going on with our water? Probably. We do not know when it will be safe to drink or use. Until that time, everyone in a town of 17,000 is using bottled water. So here's my question. If you suddenly got an alert on your phone saying, do not drink the water, do not bathe with the water, do not use the water for anything, do not water your animals with it, how would you do? I want you to use the mental exercise. Imagine that just happened to you right now. Would you be okay? Would you have enough water stored up? Would you be able to take care of business? Would you be able to make it 24 hours? Would you be able to make it a week? These are important questions for you, friends. All right. This is from Just Cemeteries. It says, I live in an extremely nice town in central Illinois. The public schools are highly rated and people are great. I learned today that our Walmart will be taking out some of the self-checkouts. Why? The employee I spoke with said that they lost over $1 million in theft last year from that one store. They said it does not matter how nice the area is, and it will get worse as prices go higher. So they're taking the self-checkouts because people are stealing so much, and they anticipate as prices go up, people will steal more. Hopefully you guys are bracing for that and ready for that. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, if you want to get the free book, tap on the link right there, fill out your information, and they'll send it to you. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of The Poplar Report, out.